last night we lost an hour when we sprung forward, but how much could we have really gotten done in that hour anyway? Turns out, plenty, at least when it comes to springing a new smile on your face. Dentist Steve Marsh is here to tell us why time is on our side when it comes to turning your frown upside down.
Hi, Lori.
Welcome back to the show.
Thanks so much.
All right, let's start the clock. What can we really get done in an hour?
Well, you can't do a whole makeover. Sometimes we've shown mouth makeovers, but we can fix things like chipping and bonding, breakage, that sort of thing. And oftentimes somebody will come to me and they have a big event that evening and they say, oh my gosh, what can you do? And they've got an issue. And so we do all we can to show them what we can do and make sure that they can go to their event. And this is a patient who wasn't very significant, but it was to him. He was actually a senior in high school. This happened this fall. And you can see he fell. He broke that upper front tooth, his right, the viewer's left. And he said, oh my gosh, I have the homecoming dance, the game, the whole deal. And so we ended up bonding that. And on the lower teeth, you can see we just reshaped them. And he felt much more confident. He was thrilled with a smile. Not a big makeover, but enough that we could make him satisfied and presentable for prom.
Well, that was an emergency, right? I mean, it would
Right.
be for a senior and homecoming and everything like that, but what if it's not an emergency? What can you get done in an hour?
Well, so we have people who come in and they want their teeth whitened, and they've heard about Zoom, and Zoom whitening is a technique we do in the office. Again, it takes about an hour. They sit and watch TV and enjoy themselves. Actually, it's sort of a quiet time. And sometimes we'll do reshaping. So reshaping can be done in an hour. So this is a woman who had actually been a patient of mine for years. She actually saw a segment on golden opportunities on reshaping of teeth and said, how come you haven't talked to me about it? So I said, well, let's look at it. And you can see her upper teeth, though it's a little hard to see in the before. They were misshapen, the lowers. And this happens with all of us in this 50 and over group. The teeth tend to shift, especially the lower teeth, and you start to show more lower teeth. So I said to her, let's just reshape those teeth. We don't have to do anything very significant. And you can see the lower teeth we reshaped very nicely, easily, no braces involved, and the upper teeth, again, reshaped it. So a little whitening and reshaping can make a huge difference. So Lori, here's a picture of a patient. She came to me last summer, and she did whitening. And if you look at the before picture, that's after we whitened her with Zoom. And then she maintained it with whitening trays. She didn't like her gummy smile. So we then, in a succeeding appointment, again, not in that hour, we actually did a gum lift. We do that with a laser, and it can be done very easily. That can be done in about a half hour. And then we put porcelain veneers on. Now that took a couple hours of 2 appointments to give her that beautiful smile. So sometimes we can do it in an hour, sometimes we need more appointments and more time.
I know some people try to fit in their appointments before work or at lunch hour, so, you know, what about numbing and issues with going beyond that
so first
hour?
of all, we start every day, 5 days a week at 7 in the morning because a lot of people, attorneys included, want to come to us early, get it out of the way. So whether it's an attorney at the beginning of the day or somebody just going to work or a lunch hour, we've numbed them up to do work. There's now a material called Auraverse. I'm just going to hold it up here. This is a carpule, and with this, when we give injections, it reverses the Novocaine. So instead of being numb 3 to 4 hours and going back to work and meeting with a client that way, we use Auraverse. Okay. And in a half hour, they're ready to go.
How about folks who need a little bit more than an hour? We don't have much time, but...
Well, we'll look at it. So there's a lot that can be done given the time, and we'll look at 1 or 2 pictures, and that'll show us what we can do given more time. This is the trio. So when we do impressions, remember the goop that people would have? They don't want to go back to work with it? That's the trio. So in about 2.5 minutes, we can take an impression of the upper arch, 2.5 minutes to do the lower arch. So what used to take 10, 20 minutes and be very sloppy can be done nicely. And this is a patient who recently came to me. She wanted some reshaping of her teeth. We used the trios to take the impression. The lower, again, I did that reshaping that I showed you on a patient who had been with me years. And on the upper, we did porcelain veneers. We brought the smile in and gave her that absolutely beautiful, symmetrical smile.
All right, always great. It only takes a few tick-tocks on the clock to transform your teeth to looking terrific. For help, give Steve a call. His number is next. Thanks.
You're welcome.
See what Dr. Stephen Marsh can do for your smile by calling 440-461-1003 or visit www.clevelandsmiles.com.